People confuse entertainment with research, and what I want to lead with is you started seeing something pop up in 2016. I'm referring to Tartaria on the DARPA internet. 3 years prior to that, or am I saying it right? Yeah, 3 years prior to that, 2013, that's when the Obama administration amended the Smith-Munt Act and turned it into the Smith-Munt Modernization Act. Propaganda used to be illegal to disseminate to the masses. To the citizens who were by all rights debt slaves and became debt slaves in 1913 when the Federal Reserve was established under the pretense of being both voluntary and temporary. TikTok is a propaganda mill. You're being spoon-fed things in your feed for a reason, and it's not beneficial to you and I. Our masters are corrupting what does reflect reality, history, fill in the blank. And most people are repeating it. They are repeating the propaganda, which is why over 30 years ago in a Davos panel, a public transcript was afforded to you and I. They do this every single year, mind you. And we were told that we were going to be given numerous forms of communication, and it was so that we could echo their adult fairy tales. Flash forward, and people believe in Tartaria. Have yourself a listen. I can't pinch it, and I might have to. Yeah, it's probably going to refresh, huh?
As the entire Ten Commandments.
Bear with me. I'm going to pinch that too. 1 second.
Described on it in ancient block.
Only because they said paleo. All right. It's this one. Slow.
It's all fake. I think everything has been falsified before the year 1600.
How so?
If you look on very...
Oh, and see, I didn't get that far. Joe Rogan is controlled opposition. So the moment Joe Rogan popped up, this is garbage. It's another red flag. It's a telltale sign. This guy's also using social engineering jargon that has been hijacked and weaponized. It's not in place to serve you and I in any form or way. He said fake. Fake, yeah, it's descriptive and it's a word, and it would be neat if it hadn't been hijacked, but it was used to promote patently fascist censorship. Other examples include, but are not limited to, canceling polarizing positive vibes only, hating, canceling, hate speech, I'm not kidding, Snopes debunked, joking around about Facebook jail, LifeLog jail, and the list goes on. And that's why freedom of speech doesn't exist anymore. And these are third-party apps, which stand outside the parameters of freedom of speech and the Constitution, which is also a red flag, but nobody fought for that because people are too busy digesting the latest propaganda, such as this rot.
Old maps, you see that there used to be a country called Tartaria.
I should also tell you this, and notice that I'm interrupting frequently. Our masters do this often. Take TikTok, for example. TikTok is the bedrock of the MK Ultra sub-projects in practice. When you click on something to upload it, TikTok takes over and increases the contrast, the brightness on your phone to mess with how you think. When you click on TikTok, it captures your audio and throws you into what? Your feed where you're spoon-fed propaganda. These are divisive measures, mind you. And the TikTok noises you put over videos, just think about some of the tones in particular. They're putting your mind in a different state. Beta waves and all that other bullshit. Yeah? These are divisive tactics, and most people don't realize it. This is also the age of disinformation and patently fascist censorship. This post has, 9,411 people who have liked it, which means that's how many people have seen this. I'll leave something online, and on TikTok, at most, usually about 100 if it's not propaganda. This is Tartaria, so you never know. It might be circulated. On YouTube, I get maybe 2 or 3 views. That's it. It looks like 1,666. Is that appropriate? Well, 616 used to also possibly be the number of the beast, but people don't always bring that up. 1,666 people have circulated this propaganda, and that should terrify you.
Area that was in existence, and at a certain point, all of history has been changed. About 1,000 years.
Listen closely, and I'll shut up this time.
It's all fake. I think everything has been falsified before the year 1600.
How so?
If you look on very, very old maps, you see that there used to be a country called Tartaria that was in existence. And at a certain point, all of history has been changed. About 1,000 years have been added to the timeline in order.
I want you to hear that part in particular, the 1,000 years. Focus on that.
History has been changed. About 1,000 years have been added to the timeline in order to justify land claims, largely have to do with the Eurasian horde and the elimination of the Eurasian horde. Rome and Greece and Egypt were actually active till around 1600, and that Rome actually fell around 1492.
As opposed to what's the conventional timeline?
About 1,000 years before. If you can wrap your head around it, the Salem witch trials took place around the same time as the Inquisition. Columbus was discovering America around the time Rome fell.
By the way, Columbus was Jewish.
All of this was designed to erase this entire civilization from history. It's all fake. I think everything.
Now, where do you think somebody like this might get an adult fairy tale such as this? Will anybody mention it in the comments? Probably not. Bad jokes. Bad jokes. These are all jokes, mind you. Or at least punchlines. You are correct. The void period. People are asking about this. People are curious about this. People think this sounds good. Hey, look, somebody said he is wrong. You are correct. Hey, that's encouraging. Well, if it works. And I'm going to show you something in a second if you're still sticking around. I'm trying to weed out the people who don't have attention spans. But it's tar, a pre-flood or post-flood, and he didn't punctuate what he crapped out. The mud flood and all that other stuff is also dog shit. It does not reflect history or reality, same difference. If you're talking about, grassroots, wholesome, this, that, and the other thing. This dates to 2016. I'm talking about Tartaria, like I said. And you can Google that. Google will tell you that's the truth when it popped up. This is where they're pinching this garbage from. And this book is trash. It's absolute trash. And if you look closely, you're going to see what he was repeating verbatim. And if I can't hide. Oh, I can. There we go. 1,000 years. He's not knocking out the full scale that was outlined in the book. Because, you gotta speak down to your audience, especially when they're buying into Joe Rogan, controlled opposition Rogan's, platform. Once again, this is the age of disinformation and patently fascist censorship. People would not have any traction if they were actually talking about things that matter. Case in point, if this works, bear with me. I'm going to show you my account for a second. Keep in mind, I kick followers out most of the time because I'm looking for people who can think for themselves. If you look down here, what I leave online is often flagged because it reflects reality. If I shop around something like Tartaria, that would have traction. But I'm intentionally not trying to mislead you. Did I say that right? I hope I did. It's late. What was the other bit? Let me show you my activity in here. Because this is a clear sign that it's propaganda. You see this little post up on the top right? That's space propaganda. I commented on that a long time ago, and people see that daily. Because the space propaganda is being circulated widely on TikTok. And if you look closely, you'll see a lot of people interacting over a very long time frame, span of time. Every single time that pops up, that's a red flag. That's propaganda. And I've highlighted these or documented stuff like this before because I left a post online having to do with Tartaria where I was pointing out that somebody was shopping it around, and I asked them, is it that one? No, it's not that one. I asked all these superficial internet babies to spot the propaganda, and not one of them could because they believe in Tartaria. Anything that's well-financed and well-circulated is normalized. By the way, the one that you see on the top right, that's communism. And that's me speaking a bad word against it. But people don't understand. Communism is pitted against fascism. That's the Hegelian dialectic, which is fascism in practice. Because communism is a shade of fascism. These are all communist posts, mind you, that I left on there bashing it. And that's why people saw it. Because communism is a propaganda campaign. That's why Etsy has stickers and buttons and patches. There's Bill Donahue. He's a controlled opposition asset. The kid on the top right, he's misleading people. And I pointed it out. And that's why these things are circulated. There's Jordan Maxwell, his real name was Russell Pine, controlled opposition asset, just like Joe Rogan. And technically Joe Rogan came after that. And look, there's the space propaganda this far back. And it's been steady because it's being circulated. I can teach you things you're not supposed to know, and most people do not give a flying fuck. Here, we'll go out on a colorful note since this popped up. If it works.